Hi, I'm Beth Bergeron, Senior Vice President at DOXA. I work in Operations and Technology. So DOXA is an acquisitive company. We acquire MGAs and MGUs, primarily in the P&C space. We focus on niche specialty businesses. We also start companies. We get good underwriting teams come in, help them find a market, and launch their business. So we use Resource Pro in multiple capacities. They're a really good partner for us. We utilize several Resource Pro folks. They do business process outsourcing for us. They do everything from clearance and loss runs, even doing endorsements and such. And more recently, we've engaged with them at the premier resources that are doing more like assistant underwriting type work. And we're also going to engage with them on some process improvements. So we're really going to use them at the next level, if you will, to help our business be more efficient. So we have several companies that they don't have a large staff. So it's fantastic to use a team like Resource Pro because then we can let them do more administrative work and really raise the level of our employees doing more, whether it's underwriting work or communications with brokers, but really advance that and really work on more value add work while Resource Pro is doing the administrative work for us. The work they do is very relevant to DOXA. One of the things I like to highlight is that for these startup companies, we're able to start them up with a very minimal staff. We don't have to invest and do that at the very beginning when we're trying to start and grow the business. So that has been very beneficial to us. I think one of the great values of Resource Pro is how collaborative they are. So we work with them. They bring really good resources to the table, and they're insurance-based resources. So these folks know it. They speak our language, and we're able to collaborate them, whether it's just on doing the process well, but also how can we improve the process? They're not just necessarily order takers. They're saying, hey, maybe you could look at this and help us improve our process. What makes them different is I think the collaboration is so fantastic because, like I said, it's not just the work that they do. It's also, hey, how can we help you improve the process? We have, and we'll engage with their leadership and not just the task-based work, but process improvements. I think that that is so important. And like I said, the fact that they are insurance-based people and they can talk our language and have these conversations with us is just fantastic. What we also love about Resource Pro is how they're leaning into the technologies today. AI is taking over not just in our industry, but other industries, and they're really leaning in and saying, how can we embrace this and take advantage of it and use it? They're not worried about, hey, that's going to replace my resources. They're saying, how can we help? So we started with Resource Pro's Premier Resources last year, and it was one of our startup companies. And they had started their companies essentially with just 2 underwriters and no AU. And they realized as they were growing the business, they had a need for an AU, but they really wanted to be more cost effective. So we brought in a Premier Resource from Resource Pro, and it's been fantastic. They treat them just like an AU. It's part of the team, and it's really enabled us to grow that business and still keep, cost effective on the resource set. So we've used Resource Pro at different stages of our businesses. I've mentioned how we use them in our startup companies, which is fantastic, but we also have some mature businesses that maybe at first were a little resistant to use these resources, and they started something basic with clearance or something. And now today they've grown, they have 5 resources in the business, and they're asking themselves, where can I use them more? How can I take this work off of my team's plate? Because we are growing in that business, and they want their teams underwriting, working with brokers, not doing the administrative work. So they're just asking, how can they help?